My name is Amir Bentatu, and I'm the owner of RS Future. I build cars, I do track support, do a lot of driver coaching, and I build aerodynamic parts. It is a new venture for me. I opened it at the first of this year, so it's been open for a grand total of about 10 days now. And yeah, very excited to see where that goes and have some fun with cars. As for my background in cars, I've been driving for about 12 years. I would say that is my focus, is driving and time attack. I've been into cars for pretty much as long as I can remember. My oldest memory is driving through Glendora Mountain Road with my father, and kind of the place where I cut my teeth in driving, and transitioned to autocross and then the track, where I basically practiced for 4 or 5 years and started in time attack in 2013. This E36 M3 was my time attack car for a while, and it transitioned to the NSX. So that is where we are today, with the NSX being a K20 swapped street class time attack car with global time attack. I enjoy the driving aspect of it, but I also love building and engineering and the science behind motorsports. RS Future, the RS stands for race service, so it's race service future because that is primarily what I do. I do work on some street cars, like I'm working on a S2000 right now. There's a street car that occasionally sees the track, but my focus is motorsports and race preparation and competition. So my vision for RS Future is to expand it into more services, a larger shop, more capabilities. The biggest problem I'm having right now is because it's just myself and a friend here or there that I trust to help me, I'm really limited on the production that I can do. So the way that I would see it in the future is, once I've kind of hit the ceiling of production where I'm booked, 4 or 6 months out, then try to expand it to a larger shop with more technicians and people that I really trust. But because it is motorsport focused and there's a certain quality that you have to really have a car that performs well reliably on the track, I'm very particular about how things get built. The building aspect of it is very important to me. I really enjoy it. As much as I love driving, and I take it very seriously, it's something, I enjoy driving as fast as I can and constantly improving. The other aspect of it is the build side. And what I really enjoy is building a car that is not only functional, but also looks. And I think that's something, like I have a close group of friends, like Christian from Battlecraft, Dwayne from our compound, Sean from Narita Dogfight, where we really we get a lot of our inspiration from Japanese builds, where you look at them and the lap times are incredible and they also look like works of art. So we try to integrate both. So that's one thing that I've always tried to do in pretty much all of my builds. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be like show car perfect. I have my 911, which I had for years, and that was definitely more of a rough track build, but still had its own unique style to it. So I think when I work with customers in their car, I try to find what their style is and build a car to them, so that way it performs on track and still has, it's their car, something that's unique to them. They're not going to go to the track and see 10 other cars like it. It's going to be something that looks good, performs well, and is something that they really love. As for my own personal builds, I tend to be very pragmatic. I try to figure out what the best solution is for the answer. And with the NSX, when I decided that I was going to compete in time attack with it, it really wasn't the intention at first. I bought it because it was going to be a nice daily driver. I already had the M3, which was being built for time attack, and I wanted something that I could kind of enjoy on the street. And after the first track day with the NSX, I fell in love with it. Nothing really drives like it. I would say I've been a driving instructor for about 10 years now, and I've been fortunate enough to drive everything, supercars, Miatas, and I don't need a million horsepower to enjoy a car. I like a well set up low horsepower car, or some of the time attack machines that I get to drive, like the Motorsport Hardware LS powered M3, which is a rocket and totally fun, but I can enjoy that as much as I enjoy like Mui's Civic, which has 190 horsepower. With the NSX, I just kind of fell in love with it and decided that I really, really wanted to compete with it. It snowballed out of control. And when I looked at the lap times I wanted to hit, I wanted to hit what would essentially be like the street class record at Buttonwillow with Global Time Attack, which is in the 40s. I knew that there would be multiple ways to do it. And one of the things that I try to look at is what's going to be the lightest, most powerful, most reliable, and easiest to kind of source parts for and service. And the K-Series just made the most sense. When I bought the car from a close friend of mine, the joke was I was going to K-swap it initially because I had a lot of miles. I had like 200,000 miles. So the chassis is amazing. It can take all that and still, perform well on track, and it feels solid. But the joke was I was going to K-swap it, and then it eventually just happened because it made the most sense. The K is just such a great engine. I know it's kind of beating a dead horse, and it pisses off a lot of people because Ks are becoming really trendy to put in cars, but it's like the 4-cylinder go-to for pretty much anything. You can make the same power as an LS as long as you're not trying to do like a drag build. Like you want 700-800 horsepower, no problem, and you do it with basically half the weight. The only downside would be drivelines. The transmission and transaxle on these cars are not very strong. I recently broke 3 of them in basically 8 laps, and that would be the biggest downside to if you're going to put it into anything mid-engine. So to rectify that, I'm working with Samsonis, and we're putting in a 6-speed dog box. And then after that, the car should be solid. And then we're taking it to Circuit of the Americas for Super Lap Battle next month in February. Yeah. The question is, what is my dream build? I'm going to build my dream build. I have another NSX shell over there that is going to become a full Global Time Attack. Just opened up a new rule set called, I believe it's like Unlimited, like World Unlimited or something like that. Essentially, it takes into account the global or the World Time Attack rules, and it gives you a lot more freedom with the chassis. And I have a lot of ideas engineering-wise that I've wanted to put into a Time Attack car, but I didn't really have a home for it, and now I do. So once I saw that rule set, I got really lucky, and I found an NSX shell, or 2/3 of an NSX shell, if you could call it that, which was going to be exactly what I needed. So I bought it, and the plan is to build a full unlimited Time Attack car that is going to be almost like I guess you could say like a prototype race car. If you look at how like a modern LMP2 car, LMP1 car is put together, designed, it'll be very similar to that. It'll be a combination of that with a Time Attack car. I really appreciate you guys watching and listening. If you would like to see more, I have my own YouTube channel. It is RS Future, just like the name of the shop. That is where I have all of my track reports, some of the builds that we're doing. I currently have a project MRS that we're putting together, so there'll be some videos on that. The NSX, that is where all the videos are, a lot of the laps. And as we're expanding to have a pretty big Time Attack season this year, we're going to be doing all of the global Time Attack events like Road Atlanta, Circuit of the Americas, the Ridge in Washington, and potentially New Jersey Motorsports Park. So all of that, all of the track reports and videos will be there. So for that car. So you can see that at RS Future. First and foremost, I would like to thank Koyorad. They are the title partner on my NSX this year. They have been a huge supporter of mine for years, and now they have stepped up to really help me out and make a lot of this happen. Their products are awesome, so it's a no-brainer for me. I really only run what I support on the cars and things that I trust and what I would use in customer cars, and their products are second to none. So huge shout out to Koyorad. Proto Machine, they helped me with the fabrication on the car, and they got it to where it needed to be. We were having some issues last year. They fixed all of that. They've been excellent. The guys at Battlecraft, Christian has been a huge help in this car. A lot of the things that, a lot of the deadlines that I had to make for events I wouldn't have made without him. The guys at Hybrid Racing have been great as well. They helped me with a lot of the parts to get the swap going. Innovative mounts, insane shafts. The guys over at KW Suspension, the car is currently on KW Club Sports. My personal favorite coilovers, period. I've tried just about everything, and they just seem to get it right. I would also like to thank James over at Ghostworks. He builds the transmissions for me, so the blown up transmissions are not his fault. He does a good job, it's just that the parts are weak. So if you need anything transmission related, he's awesome. ABS Auto Body, as I mentioned before, I'm pretty particular about the way that the car looks, and one of the things that I really wanted on this car was the Midnight Purple 2 paint, and they were one of the few shops that would even take it on because of the expense of the paint itself. Everyone else was a little too nervous to do it, so I owe a big thank you to them. Rywire did the engine wiring harness for me. From their McLeod, they recently just released their K-Series twin disc clutch, which I was on a different clutch before, and the car was almost undrivable on the street. It kind of took the joy out of it. I put this McLeod clutch in, and it's rad. It feels like a street car in terms of like pedal feel and release, but it handles all the power I can throw at it. I think it's rated for like 800 wheel horsepower, so really impressive. They've been doing it in the drag scene forever, and they've just transitioned to the import, and I was fortunate enough to kind of get on their development program. I'd also like to thank Dwayne over at our compound. He has helped me out with basically all the tires and support. I blew up one of his transmissions at GTA Finals, so he's a really good friend. WinMax, they supply all of the brake pads for the car. Vibrant Performance, all of the work that Proto Machine did, they supplied all of the fabrication materials. Their parts are second to none. And both fabricators used only Vibrant parts, so I'm really particular, as I mentioned before, and Vibrant's my go-to. I also, a huge thank you to Loy at Sport Car Motion. There was an engine builder that put together an engine for us for a friend that I bought, and that engine lasted like 6 minutes. So in a bind for Super Lap Battle last year, he put together an engine for us in, I think, 5 days before SEMA. That's still in the car, and the car has given basically hell to that engine. Oil pressure issues, overheating issues, just as we sorted out all the gremlins, and that thing is a tank. Again, why I love the K-Series. I expected it to blow up a long time ago, considering how badly I've treated it, but it's been good to us, and he'll probably put together another one for us. A final few shout outs go out to Cause and their LSDs. We recently switched to the Cause LSD with the Super Q in the car, and that's been really great. And last but not least is Yokohama. I've run the car exclusively on their AO52 tires because they are by far the best 200 tread wear tire you can get. And Yokohama is just one of those brands that I am very fortunate to be associated with. They're kind of a halo company, in my opinion, when it comes to like Japanese and tuner cars. And their tires, not only are they awesome, but the tire is absolutely killer. Every record has fallen recently because of these, and regardless of whether or not you're on the AO52 because you want lap times, or the 8008R because you want a tire that performs excellently on track but lasts forever, they have a solution for everything. So huge shout out to them, and again, a huge shout out to Koyorad.